Let's talk about that final then against Manchester United, the first match. There's Albion at Wembley for a first ever FA Cup final. I mean, forget the match itself for a second. Can you remember the atmosphere and the buzz around the game? Even the helicopter trip up there. I mean, just make an entrance.
Well, yeah, special times for, the club, the board, the management, the players, the fans, the town as it then was, the city as Brighton now is. It was, the whole place was absolutely buzzing because of it. You could feel the electricity around the place. People wanted to talk to us. People wanted to film us, photograph us. The TV cameras were there, interviews. And when you go back, I still think the FA Cup final is a big occasion today. But back then, in 1983, the FA Cup final was arguably the biggest game of the season. I remember as a kid, it was the one that I looked for. Well, it was the only one that was on the TV, to be honest with you, the FA Cup final. And from middle of the morning on a Saturday, I was glued to the TV watching it until it finally concluded at nearly 5 o'clock or a little bit later if it went to extra time. And suddenly, we as a group of players were very much part of that. Everything was, I think as a kid, if there was a few things I wanted to do football-wise. I wanted to play in an FA Cup final and score a goal. And I wanted to play for my country and play in World Cup finals. Those were the two really, really big dreams. And here was the first one. I'm playing in an FA Cup final. We went up to Selsdon Park Hotel on the Friday. The send-off from the Goldstone was amazing. The Saturday morning, we've flown by helicopter from a nearby sports field across London and landed near to Wembley and got the coach, into Wembley Stadium. I'd never been in a helicopter at that stage. It was great publicity for British Caledonian, who were our sponsors at the time. Wembley Stadium, okay, it was getting tired, but it was Wembley Stadium. It's where England had won the World Cup in '66. It's where all those FA Cup finals had been played that I'd watched. It was, Jimmy Case had played in an FA Cup final. I think he was the only one who had played in an FA Cup final amongst our group. And Jimmy was like a kid in a sweet shop as well, with all his experience.
And clearly not overawed, though, by the occasion, because Albion, more than a match for United, you're heading for defeat in normal time. And then there you go. You pop up to force extra time, achieving one of those goals.
Yeah. I hadn't scored a goal all season. And, I wasn't always going up for corners, and it's late on. And, I've got to say, I think it was a really good game of football. And, taking the lead. It's the classic, isn't it, for the neutral as well. Underdogs take the lead. The Giants, Manchester United, come back to go 2-1 up. And then the Minnows nick a goal right at the death to force extra time. And I remember looking across towards the bench. Stevie Foster wasn't playing. I could see him on the bench, and Jimmy Melia and George Aitken, and they're frantically waving me to go forward. And it wasn't, somebody tweeted me recently, in actual fact, and asked if it was a training ground routine, that goal in the cup final. Absolutely not. And Jimmy Case decided to pull it back to Tony Grealish on the edge of the area, and Tony, God rest his soul, no longer with us, unfortunately, but I think he claimed that he picked me out. I thought he scuffed a shot goalwards, personally. But I'm looking to follow in and maybe pick up a ricochet, a rebound, the keeper parries it or something like that as he strikes it. And all of a sudden, the ball is going to intersect with my run towards the goal. Even as a defender, I don't think it was a difficult ball to control. And having controlled it with my left foot, I'm only 6 yards out, hit the target with pace and power, and I've got a real chance of scoring. And that was exactly what I did. And there you go, dream number 2 from my childhood days. came true.
Yeah, absolutely. And Smith must score. That one of the most famous commentary moments ever. And obviously Gordon didn't, and it went to a second match, and he's spoken about it on plenty of occasions as well. But the feelings after that, how did the team sort of rally around him? I'd like to know the sort of thoughts from teammates, really. How did they rally around him, and sort of, did he need picking up? Did the squad feel in general that the chance had gone?
Well, first and foremost, you have to remember Gordon scored our first goal. Gordon was a very, very good technical player. I heard a little interview from him recently where, he said, I should have scored. I let myself down. I let the club down. I let my family down, blah, blah, blah. At the time, I saw it as a great save by Gary Bailey. And it was, if Graham Mosley had made that save, and by the way, Graham made some very good saves in that cup final. If Graham Mosley had made that save, I would have been patting him on the back saying, great save, Mose. But, you kind of hope and expect your keeper to make that save. So I didn't see it as a miss, particularly at the time. I didn't feel I had to say anything to Gordon. I thought he'd had a great game. I'm not sure who else spoke to Gordon about it at the time, particularly. I wasn't aware if too many people did. And of course, we had a replay to come the following Thursday night at Wembley. So, here we go, Jimmy Melia. Come on, lads, we've got another opportunity here. This is the bright side of it. And we were all getting paid appearance money, so we got double appearance money.
That is the bright side to look at it, I guess. The second match obviously didn't go as well, of course. Do you ever look back and wonder what would have happened if penalties were in play back then?
It's crossed my mind, of course. And especially as since then, and in my first season at Spurs, I ended up winning the UEFA Cup, which was via penalties. So, I think Brighton against Manchester United in an FA Cup final, if it becomes two-legged, which is what in effect happened, Manchester United become stronger favourites. If it's a one-off and it's decided on penalties, we're still very much in there with a shout for certain on that one. So, who knows? We can only ponder and wonder and think what might have been, but it wasn't.